in the quiet, windswept fields of Norfolk, England, where history sleeps just beneath the soil, a discovery was made that would awaken a dark and unsettling legend. This isn't just a story about an ancient artifact. It's about an object that seems to carry a malevolent will of its own. This is the story of the Sedgeford Axe. Unearthed from the earth where it had lain for centuries, the axe was a relic of the early medieval period, a time of brutal conflict and shifting power. But this was no ordinary tool or weapon. Upon closer inspection, its blade told a terrifying story. It was covered in deep nicks and gouges, evidence of repeated, violent impacts against something hard like bone. This wasn't just an axe used for chopping wood. It was an instrument of death, wielded with ferocious intent time and time again. As news of the discovery spread through the local community, old whispers and forgotten tales began to surface. But for generations, stories had been told of a dark chapter in the area's history. Tales of ritualistic killings performed to appease ancient gods or to seal dark pacts. The axe, with its grim history etched into the steel, seemed to be the physical proof of these chilling legends. Had this very weapon been used in those ceremonies? Was it the centerpiece of some long-forgotten, bloody ritual? The farmers who worked the land where the axe was found had their own stories to tell. They spoke of strange occurrences, of an unnerving feeling that permeated the air near the discovery site. A palpable sense of dread seemed to hang over that specific patch of ground, a cold spot that never seemed to warm, even under the summer sun. They reported hearing faint, guttural cries on the wind at night, sounds that seemed to echo from a violent past. Even more unnerving was the behavior of their animals. Livestock would inexplicably shy away from that part of the field. Dogs would whine and refuse to approach, their hair standing on end as if sensing an unseen threat. It was as if the very land was tainted, poisoned by the memory of the bloodshed it had witnessed. The local folklore began to take a darker turn, suggesting that the axe itself was the source of this lingering horror. A chilling theory began to form, one that stepped out of history and into the supernatural. Some people believed that the Sedgeford Axe had done more than just end lives. They claimed it had absorbed the rage, the terror, and the dying screams of its victim. Every violent blow, every life it took, fed a growing malevolence within the metal itself. The axe wasn't just a historical artifact. It was a vessel, a container for pure, concentrated fury. It was no longer just an object, but a cursed entity, hungry for more chaos. This belief was tragically reinforced as the axe passed through the hands of several owners and collectors. A disturbing pattern began to emerge. Those who possessed the Sedgeford Axe found their lives suddenly spiraling into ruin. One owner, a prosperous businessman, suffered a series of inexplicable financial disasters that left him bankrupt. Another, a respected academic, was struck by a sudden and debilitating illness that doctors couldn't diagnose. A young collector who proudly displayed the axe in his home lost everything in a freak fire. Coincidence? Perhaps. But the string of misfortunes was too consistent to ignore. It seemed that anyone who claimed ownership of the axe was soon visited by tragedy. The local legend grew stronger. The axe, didn't just carry a curse. It actively lashed out at those who dared to possess it. The rage it had absorbed over the centuries was now being unleashed upon the living, destroying lives just as it had once shattered bone. The artifact was seen as a harbinger of doom, bringing nothing but misery and despair to its keepers. The stories became so prevalent and the associated misfortunes so alarming that authorities eventually had to step in. The Sedgeford Axe, once a prized historical find, was now considered a public menace, fearing for the safety and well-being of anyone who might come into contact with it. The decision was made to remove the artifact from public access. It was locked away, hidden from view in a secure, undisclosed location, deemed too dangerous for the world. Today, the Sedgeford Axe remains a ghost in the annals of archaeology. It is an artifact forever associated with bloodshed, death, folklore, and a palpable sense of evil. Locked away from human hands, its story serves as a terrifying reminder that some things from the past are best left buried. The question that lingers in the silence is a haunting one. Is the axe merely a piece of metal, a focus for local superstition? Or is it something more? Is it a cursed object, still seething with the rage of the long dead, waiting patiently in the darkness for its next chance to bring misfortune to the world? The legend of the Sedgeford Axe teaches us that history is not always silent. Sometimes it screams. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy diving into the world's darkest legends, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next story. Stay curious and stay safe.